like in the, should be like in the best times of their lives, are going to sleep and not waking up. I got one of those multi-billionaires that makes his money off of all the, the tech world, just passed away at 30, went to bed and didn't wake up. That's happening more and more every day. You just imagine, you're on top of the world. You go to bed thinking you got all these plans, and then you wake up staring, at the angels. Not sure which set of angels is coming to get you. But depending on how you lived your life and what was your God while you were here, you could probably guess which group of angels comes to pick him up. Just like I've done that video about what happens after you die, talking about the story of Paul, the apocalypse of Paul, talking about what happens when, a person of the Most High passes away and who comes to get him, and a person who's all been about the world and who comes to get him. And, and as you can tell, like in the movies, they have read these books. Because when you
I didn't come here for a fucking Bible lesson.
Patrick Swayze, it follows that book of Apocalypse of Paul to the T. Shows you who comes to get Patrick Swayze because, supposedly he lived such a great life. And then the guy who actually killed him, it shows you these other entities that come and get them. Like I said, they read the other books that you still refuse to read. And they make movies out of them. And they make money off of them. I said, when you have the Most High, and he gives you understanding, see, depending on who you are, you're going to look at the title, and you're going to have a totally different point of view. And you don't have to explain, because we already know. The times of the Gentiles are fulfilled. Proof that the times of the Gentiles, as spoken of by Jesus, the Messiah, have been fulfilled in our time. Now, if you got a Gentile or a heathen looking at this, they're going to look at it from one point of view. If you look at us Hebrews, Israelites here at the end, we're going to see this the total opposite. But the only difference is us Hebrews can go to the scriptures and prove exactly what we're thinking. We can prove exactly that the times of the Gentiles have come to an end. The 400 years are complete. And that transition is already underway. That's why you don't see a lot of pastors and priests, giving you understanding. You're going to see that these pastors and priests have known that they can't come with us with the scriptures. They can't use the scriptures on us because, come on now. I said those scriptures are ours. They're in our DNA. When you have our scriptures and you're trying to evangelize us, it just don't feel right because that's like my kid trying to teach me about my Bible. My kid who can barely even read, trying to get my Bible and teach me about it.
Hostile cluster mine detected.
The scriptures were only given to the Israelites. Psalms 147, 19 and 20. He has not dealt so with any other nation. So the way you even look walking around with our Bible is very suspect. As soon as we start asking questions, it's very evident that you have no understanding. We start talking about what's going on as far as prophecy is concerned. You have no understanding because all you're going to do is regurgitate the same things you've always said. Because the truth is not in you. And eventually you're going to come to the realization that you need to put the Bible down, you're going to need to sit down, and you're going to need to learn from the Most High's people. You're going to need to learn from the ones the Most High has raised up. This was never about, hey, I've decided to follow Christ. Hey, I've decided to go to the seminary. Hey, I've decided that, I want to give my life to Christ and I want to do it. No, he has to call you. And he has equipped the ones he wants to, to do this job before they even got here. They were born under certain stars. under certain planets. He gave them certain kind of temperament in order to be able to do the tasks that are set for them. So it's never about what it is that you want to do. When you're doing what you're supposed to do, it'll just feel right. It'll feel like this is what I was born to do. This is why I was sent here. And really, except that's what you study to show thyself approved. It's much more than just studying the Bible. It's also looking at science, math, things that the spiritual aspects of things. Learning about other great teachers. Because these other great teachers as well have been given information. And it's the same information, but it's just given to different groups. But that's something that's been hidden that we're going to be getting into also as well. Because this is much deeper than just the Bible. There are great lessons in other books as well. Just like the Most High has used the Gentiles and the heathens to make movies to bring out information, he's done that also with other teachers that supposedly are from other religions. But when you realize that a lot of these other religions, teachers were our people from a long time ago. We're going to take a look here real quick. We're going to show you why, when they saw the IUIC and they saw all these brothers actually coming together and they started seeing them being organized, that's nothing new. So all of a sudden people think that this is something new. Our people have always been like this. You guys have worked really hard and you've spent a lot of money to make us look really bad, to make us look unorganized, to make us look as if, we've always been this ass backwards. You set up a media that portrays us in such a negative light in order for people to think that this is how we've always been. But that's not the case. See, you were the ones that were always ass backwards before. You were the ones because the Most High gave you spirits to lead you astray, to keep you away from Him. So therefore, you were the ones that looked backwards. You were the ones that looked unorganized. We always were all on point as long as we were following our Father. But as soon as we fell off, that's when the Most High gave us these spirits of confusion. So I'm sure it's been a running joke with the other nations. Look at them, look at how they act, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. That's okay. No problem. Because, hey, we suffered our punishment. Now you're going to have to suffer yours. No matter, there's not enough Stephen A. Smiths, there's not enough Charles Barkleys, there's not enough Shaquille O'Neal to do tap dancing for you in front of the Most High. It might work for the ones who want to just continue on in this society, and they don't want to rock the boat. So that'll work with people here. That's not going to work with the Most High. I talk about that picture of Jerry Jones, from 65 years ago. That was 65 years ago that he was at that school not letting those Negroes in. Right? See how quick they have money to make us look really bad, to make us look unorganized, to make us look as if, we've always been this ass backwards. You set up a media that portrays us in such a negative light in order for people to think that this is how we've always been. But that's not the case. See, you were the ones that were always ass backwards before. You were the ones because the Most High gave you spirits to lead you astray, to keep you away from Him. So therefore, you were the ones that looked unorganized. We always were all on point as long as we were following our Father. But as soon as we fell off, that's when the Most High gave us these spirits of confusion. So I'm sure it's been a running joke with the other nations. Look at them, look at how they act, blah, blah, blah. That's okay. That's okay. No problem. Because, hey, we suffered our punishment. Now you're going to have to suffer yours. no matter, there's not enough Stephen A. Smiths, there's not enough Charles Barkleys, there's not enough Shaquille O'Neals to do tap dancing for you in front of the Most High. It might work for the ones who want to just continue on in this society, and they don't want to rock the boat. So that'll work with people here. That's not going to work with the Most High.
Free for all.
I was talking about that picture of Jerry Jones, from 65 years ago. That was 65 years ago that he was at that school not letting those Negroes in. Right? See how quick they are to, try to justify or belittle the things that they've done. It was such a long time ago. You can't be talking about that kind of stuff. Well, see, there's been plenty of pictures. He was just there. He wasn't doing it. He wasn't participating. There's plenty of pictures of kids smiling and laughing when we were getting lynched.
The fuck is this guy talking?
And those kids are still here today. They might be 80, 84, 85 years old. But they witnessed our people being raped, robbed, murdered, burned, violated, destroyed, and they just watched it happen. So just because, they just roll out Stephen A., roll out these guys that want to just go out there and be coons and whatever else, go right ahead. We're not the audience that you're going to need to talk to.
Oh, fuck's sakes, muted for life.
You're going to need to get forgiveness from. You're going to have to stand, it's going to be you in front of the Most High. And he's going to know exactly what you did and what you didn't do. And you're going to have to, you're going to have to give an account of your actions to the Most High. Okay? So let's take a real quick look here. Okay? This was from the book of Jasher, chapter 35. Now, you got to understand, this is one of my favorite stories. And of course, they didn't put these in the Bible. They don't want you to realize the power that we have. Look, we don't need big numbers. We don't need a lot of people. We just need the chosen few. We love to talk about that. There's a chosen few, the Marines and our military. I say, this is the real chosen few, right here. So you guys can manipulate numbers. Like, there's not a lot of people listening. There's not a lot of people paying attention. We can just ignore them. That's fine. Because it has never been about huge numbers. Because what you're scared of is not the amount of people you're going to see. Your fear is the power that is supporting those few numbers. The power of our Elohim that is there with us at this time. When he has turned his face back to us, that is what you are fearing. That is what is vexing your spirit. All of a sudden, these people don't look so unorganized. All of a sudden, the tricks and the things that we've done before aren't working anymore. All of a sudden, the things that we did to calm them down, excuse me, isn't quite working the way it used to anymore. So let's take a look here. Let's see. This was what happened after their sister, the Israelites, their sister was raped.
Ghost
and they started to get revenge by going from town to town and just destroying city after city after city, and of the Hamites. Okay, and no matter what the Hamites did, they could not do anything against the Israelites. Excuse me. So eventually, the Hamites try to combine forces and show up with a huge number to go against the Israelites, because them trying to fight individually just wasn't working. They were just getting their asses handed to them, left and right. And the Israelites it was not a big number. It's a very small number, maybe less than 100 of them. And they're going into cities and they're just destroying these people. Now you gotta understand, this is all going on in the spirit world. just because us as a people might have forgotten certain things, the carnal, people that you see here on this planet don't know who's who, don't know what's what. These spirits know. These spirits are well aware of who we are, and they're well aware of the power that we have that supports us. So long as the Most High, had turned his face away from us, these other nations could do whatever they wanted. Now they're seeing the Most High turning his face back to us, and that is what is causing this fear that is now sweeping over the world. Okay? So let's take a look at, we'll start around 14. Let's see. And behold, we ourselves saw with our eyes that Esau, the brother of, I took the picture so you can read it yourselves, okay? Because they're talking about some things that are going on with Jacob and how things always seem to work out. And the Most High is always protecting Jacob and his posterity, okay? So, you see. And behold, we ourselves saw with our eyes that Esau, the brother of Jacob, came to him with 400 men, with the intention of slaying him. For he called to mind that he had taken away from him his father's blessing. And he went to him when he came from Aram to smite the mother with the children. And who delivered him from his hands? But his Elohim, in whom he trusted. He delivered him from the hand of his brother, and also from the hands of his enemies. And surely he again will protect them. Who does not know that it was their Elohim who inspired them with strength to do to the town of Shechem the evil that you have heard of? Could it then be with their own strength that two men could destroy such a large city as Shechem, had it not been for their Elohim, okay, in whom they trusted? So only two men, two of the brothers, destroyed the whole city. But it's not because, so like I told you, it's not about numbers. It's about their Elohim being there for them. It says, he said, and did unto them all this to slay the inhabitants of the city, okay, in their city,